at you doing a NorbCam driving vlog. Not supposed to be doing this, but had to finally jump on here. I haven't had a chance to really do a video yet to talk about the free agency moves or non-moves that the Seahawks have done so far in 2021. But I thought this one's worth mentioning finally. Instant Gaming, what's up? As just a few minutes ago, Ian Rappaport reporting that the Seahawks have signed former tight end of the Rams, Gerald Everett, to a one-year deal worth up to $7 million. Good move. These are one of the big spots that Seattle has been needing to fill. If you think about the positions of need, the Seahawks have been that are high on the list. You've got tight end, and you check that one off. He immediately becomes the #1 tight end in that group. And you still got a couple other guys behind him who could still produce, which is good. Just need to help with the blocking. I'm not sure what's going to happen with Hollister yet at this point. And you got the new guy who came in last year. Maybe he can work into it. So that's good. We lost Shaquille Griffin. Everybody knows about that from yesterday to the Jaguars. Jaguars are Seahawks 2.0. You think about it. You got our former OCs, two of them down there, working side by side. Darrell Bevel and Brian Schottenheimer coaching down there with the Jaguars. And then you've got 3 players already who moved down there. You got Shaquille Griffin. I think his brother's heading down there too, isn't he? Shaquem Griffin. And then you got Carlos Hyde went down there. And then Philip Dorsett, who really worked out well for Seattle this past year, didn't he? Fastest receiver in the Seahawks uniform, never saw the field. He goes down to the Jaguars. So you got 5 former Seahawk players / coaches down there at Jacksonville. But we won't worry about that. That's their deal. But we did pick up Witherspoon from the 49ers. I'm going to do a little more breakdown and get into that more to see exactly who is this guy. How good is this guy? You know, he didn't play a ton, but he was a former 3rd-round draft pick. I want to kind of see a little bit more closer what his stats are there. But we'll see. Tonight, the reason I'm driving right now is because I had to take my daughter Sophie to her first high school game of the year down to Auburn High School. They're going to play their first match. Unfortunately, no fans allowed. That's why I can only drop her off. Otherwise, I'd be there watching it, of course. But because of that, we're going to just be streaming it. I might actually provide the link to the stream. So if you want to see what my daughter Sophie looks like playing for her varsity team at Kenridge High School, you can check that out. So I'm pretty excited. Haven't seen any of their playing at all whatsoever. So it's the first time to see any of their team in this shortened COVID season. So at least they're playing, which is exciting. So that's why no roundtable tonight, because I'm going to be getting ready to watch that game. And obviously doing this, driving the kids back and forth to their events and all that. So I'm excited though. Tomorrow I'm going to be collaborating and having a guest appearance from Paul Gallant, who is the 710 ESPN morning radio sports host on our local station. You can listen to him online as well, but he's going to join the show for about 30 minutes, and I'm going to do a one-on-one with him and just talk football and get his take on things. So I'm looking forward to that. That's tomorrow afternoon, 4 o'clock Seattle time, 7 o'clock even time. So what else? What other things? I guess that's kind of it. The only other thing is the whole Russell news, not news. It's kind of what have we not been saying this all along, especially guys from the round table, that Russell Wilson wasn't going anywhere. I was getting people, friends, etc., sending me messages, DMs. Russell Wilson, he's going to go to Vegas. He's going to go to Chicago. He's going to go to New Orleans. He's going to go to wherever the heck else he was going to go to. Granted, anything could happen. I understand that. But really, there was no plausible situation where it'd make any sense for the Seahawks to trade Russell Wilson. That's why they're not doing it. All this stuff. They're taking calls. Just crazy. The national media was running with this story and just making it sound like Russell Wilson was practically gone. Mike Florio, who I like to listen to and I enjoy his takes on things, was so overly sure that he was good as gone. and one of those 4 teams that were named. So I'm glad to see that whole thing has pretty much been killed now that the Chicago Bears have drafted Andy Dalton. Not drafted, picked up Andy Dalton for $10 million to be their starting quarterback. When you're going to do that, you're certainly not going to make a move now for Russell Wilson. Not that they had much to give anyway. Now, of course, we're just talking about for 2021. Anything can happen in 2022. Coach Marsh, my compadre there on Coach's Corner, has said himself that he thinks that it's just a matter of time, that in a year or less than a year from now, that'll be a different story. And all these could be different stories. Most of these deals are one-year deals happening, so next year would be a whole nother situation. But I'm still going to hold on to my hope and faith that they're going to get things worked out. We're going to have a great season with the new offensive coordinator, new weapons like Gerald Everett at tight end, and Russell Wilson have a whole bunch of more reasons to want to stay here. But we still got holes to fill. But it's good to see that we filled the hole left by Shaquille Griffin with Witherspoon. I don't know, again, is that an even match? Obviously, we're paying a heck of a lot less money for him, like $10 million less, because Shaquille Griffin ended up getting like $15 million a year, $29 million guaranteed, $45 million, something like that. So good for him. Good for him and his brother. But will Witherspoon, can he take the spot and fill in the void and do just as good a job? I guess time will tell, but I'm going to definitely be checking out his stats a little bit and seeing, maybe that'll be a Coach's Corner breakdown for the future. Break down Mr. Witherspoon and let's see what this guy can do, because really at this point I don't think any of us really have a good clue as to how good of a cornerback he is. So that'll be fun to look at and see now that we know what our situation is. So essentially we've kind of had one hole open, filled that up with Witherspoon. We needed a tight end. We got the tight end. We still haven't made that big splashy move yet at offensive line. I think that's what most people are frustrated at, because we've seen obviously 3 of the big targets. Thuney, what's his name? Shoot, I already forgot his name. The one who you know what I'm talking about. On the Packers. Lindsey. And then there was the other guy who popped on the radar yesterday from Hudson from the Las Vegas Raiders. Thought maybe there's a chance we could go after him. Hudson's the one they want. The one who came on the market from the Raiders yesterday got signed to the Cardinals. So there's still more out there. It's just that I think the 3 big ones that everybody was talking about, the Seahawks didn't make a move on it. And I think we all are just feeling that itch. Like, it's such a big, of all the needs, we have this gaping hole, especially because of the Russell Wilson thing. Everyone's feeling, we got to sign immediately get an offensive lineman in there quickly, right now, biggest name possible. And so far, the 3 biggest ones passed and nobody's gotten them. So, that's a big reason, obviously, so far, why it hasn't been, hasn't happened. But let's see. I see a couple of super chats that popped in here. Don't do this. Don't do this at home, you kids. Anthony D says Russell Wilson better stay in Seattle for life. Norplus, if you do stop by in Yakima, don't go anywhere. Let me know so we can hang out together someday. I'd love to do that. All right, man. I will definitely let you know if and when I end up in the Yakima area. I'm on Highway 18, by the way, if you're curious. Ancient Hawk 48 asks or says, wish we could have had the Legion of Brothers win a Super Bowl together. I know, I put that in my 2017. Wait, turn around, get back to town, just wait. Legion of Brothers, wait. Thought that we would win a Super Bowl with those guys, but didn't happen. So we have to make it happen with somebody else. So that's the scoop. So Sophie plays a match tonight. She plays another one on Friday. So I got to figure out the schedule with the Franchise Friday, Face of the Franchise Friday. I was going to do it on Friday, but now I got to figure out how that's going to work with the volleyball schedule now all kicking in. So, like I said, got a lot of things coming up. Roundtable will work out for next week and jump in all these free agency moves. But for now, the next planned videos are the next 2 I was just talking about with. Actually, I got 3 because I'm going to kind of preempt a little teaser right now. But we are doing on Discord a March Madness Bracket Challenge contest. Yes, we are going to have our own little bracket contest that you can submit in Discord. And if you win based on the points, those guys are running it for me, and I appreciate the guys that just on the Discord staff doing a good job on there. But basically, I'm gonna, when I do this video, I'm going to talk about this contest. I'll show you which link to go into to get your, be quiet, Siri. So do all these things to get your brackets filled out. You got to do it by Friday, I believe. So you got to fill out your bracket, submit it to the Discord. They'll put it into the rest of the to the options. I can't even shut her up. Oh, no, I can. There you go. Shut up, Siri. Then enter your bracket, and then they'll tally up the points by the time it's all over. And then if you win, you'll get to appear on as a guest on the panel. Plus, I'm giving away a autographed basketball, and it's actually a cool one. I'll show a picture of it, but it's kind of Seahawks themed because it's a blue and green basketball. So you'll get a little basketball prize if you win the contest, and it's free to play. How much better is that? So, and now I can be honest with you, I've never done March Madness before. I've never filled out a bracket and did that whole thing. I just never gotten into it. So this year I'm going to do it, just really for the video, so you guys can see the steps of how to do this contest and how to submit. But for me, it'll be a nice little fun thing to do just because I've never bothered to do it. Just like fantasy football last year. First time to do it, had to get the experience in. And now I'm going to do it here to see what the March Madness bracket is all about. I do have some interest in the sense I got friends and family who are big time into Gonzaga. Gonzaga, obviously the number one favorite team in the bracket, undefeated, number one throughout the season. So could they get it done this year? That will be the big question. A lot of pressure there, but I'm excited. I'm excited really just for tonight, being to watch my daughter play volleyball. It's not the same, not being able to be in the building, but I'm looking forward to it nonetheless. So again, I'll put the link on there so you guys can check it out if you want. And then next week we have the first home game for her team at Kent Ridge on Tuesday. And if all goes hopefully as planned, we're supposed to be able to have a return to the gym with spectators on that game. So it's possible the very first home game could be the first game where they finally have spectators back to watch in person, which means I'm hoping to reprise my role as the PA announcer, which I did Sophie's freshman season. It's over a year and a half ago, or however it's been, almost a year and a half ago, where I was basically calling all the scores, and anytime something exciting happens, I'd kind of lead the charge, identify which player did it, and then I'd have my laptop on there with all kinds of sound effects like I do for my live streams for the games, doing little sound effects, little music, all kinds of fun stuff just to kind of keep the crowd entertained. So I'm hoping I'll be doing that on Tuesday next week. So yeah, it's definitely gonna be tricky scheduling with volleyball in full gear, and also doing the girls have club volleyball at the same time. So they're doing high school volleyball, middle school volleyball. It hasn't happened for my younger daughter. Don't know if it's even gonna happen, but they're both doing clubs. So we got it's double layered stuff. Normally they'd be separate seasons, but they had to cram it all together because of this COVID year. So we're juggling both. It's pretty intense, but I'm just excited to finally have some sports to watch for the volleyball matches these days, since we don't have any football and baseball hasn't started yet. So it's pretty exciting. So yeah, what else is there to talk about in terms of, I guess, other potential guys we have yet to find out? The big ones would be KJ Wright. We did our Coach's Corner breakdown of how great KJ Wright played this past year, and still hoping that they can get a deal done. I know he wants to stay here, but he doesn't want to do it for cheap. And how much are the Seahawks willing to pay? That's the big question. And then Chris Carson, same deal. Chris Carson, who I still think he's the best running back option we have right now, and he's not gotten any deals yet. And I think he's probably finding out the market for running backs, and particularly him, who's had injury as money as he'd hoped he was going to get. He probably want to get something close to the market is less everybody for a certain amount. All right, the question is how much? What's that magic number? The Seahawks have a number in mind where they would take him on for sure if they could reach a price that is what, 4 million, 5 million, 6 million. And what does Chris Carson want? And does he even want to play for Seattle? Because obviously, even if Seattle offered him the money and he doesn't really want to come here for whatever reason, he certainly doesn't have to. He'll find another offer somewhere else. Could be even less if he's just, he would rather play for less money for another team. Well, that's not much you can do there. So we'll see. It's hard to tell. All I know is that, you know, they went through that saga at the end of the year after they lost the playoff game. It was that Chris Carson stopped or unfollowed the Seahawks on Twitter and his social accounts, indicating this unhappiness with the team. But money can buy you love. So if they do get that deal worked out, maybe he will come back. Money talks for sure, but how much money are we talking about? We'll find that out. But so far, I think it's a positive sign if you're a Seahawks fan that Chris Carson hasn't gotten signed yet anywhere. It means that obviously there's just not a lot of money and not a lot of demand for him in particular. So we'll see what happens on that side of things. Anything else? Who else do we have that is kind of standout names? Those are the main ones as far as who we're kind of holding our breath on, wondering if they're going to come back or not. KJ and, you know, KJ, Shaquille, which we already resolved, and Chris Carson. Those are kind of the three that were the free agents that out there, which were, you know, would be nice to get back. We knew we couldn't get them all, but we'd love to get KJ back here again. Let's see, what else? Other needs. Oh, Poona Ford. I didn't talk about Poona Ford. Poona Ford signed a 2-year deal, and that's good for him, man. Making, you know, relatively small amount of money for a guy who was kind of considered an undersized tackle, and I thought he's played great. I'm glad they signed it to 2-year deal, and now he's in the millionaire club thanks to his great performances over the last couple of years. So good for Poona Ford. I think that's a great move. Now just stay healthy, buddy. What else? So we still need an edge rusher. There's still that possibility of getting, yeah, that's the other name, of getting Carlos Dunlap back, who's technically a free agent. You know, it would have been a salary cap hit of $14 million if he had, you know, Seahawks kept him here. So they couldn't afford that. But the question is, again, just like these other guys, will he be willing to pay for less or modify his contract in a way that can make it affordable for Seattle? I would love to have Carlos Dunlap back to play for the Seahawks. He was a great contributor and made the rest of the interior linemen great. So Carlos Dunlap would be nice to get that, at least one of the pass edge rushing voids filled. So we'll see if that can get done. Then we talked about running back already. If it's not Chris Carson, who would it be? Is there somebody already on the team, or do we need to look elsewhere? Or is it the draft? Or and then maybe the other position. We're going to talk about O-line, talk about running back, we talked about pass rusher, we talked about cornerback, and really it's that receiver position. You know, do we have that third receiver? We know DK is going to be there. We know Lockett's going to be there. David Moore. That's where we start talking free agency side. You know, is it Freddie Swain? Is Freddie Swain your number 3 guy? Or is it you know, somebody else we just haven't thought of, somebody out there floating out there? Remember, there was that rumor that, or I should say, the prediction from Alina Dahl, one of our moderators, the best moderator ever. Alina, who said she had inside information that Golden Tate would be coming back to Seattle. Now, we did hear that he did get released by, was it New York? Nothing has happened. Not much talk about Golden Tate, although I have heard people mentioning the possibility of coming back to Seattle. Hasn't happened yet, but that could be one that could pop in there and fill in that maybe third receiver position. So, you know, we'll find it. What is it? Seahawks Nation says it's not all good. Shaq went to the Jaguars. You know, I'm actually not that disappointed. It wasn't like when I saw the news that I was like, oh my gosh, how could they let him go? If I had to choose between KJ and Shaquille, I would take KJ as a priority at this point. Shaquille is good, don't get me wrong, and he could prove me wrong next year if things don't go well at corner, and I'll be like, going, man, I sure wish we had Shaquille Griffin back here. But right now, I feel like with DJ Reed, you know, him coming on as he did last year unexpectedly, he's going to be a great contribution there. and now we got Witherspoon, which we don't know exactly what we got, but hopefully it's a good thing. We'll see what else we got, but I think those are the main issues, the main names at this point. So we will talk more later. I got to jump. I'm here. I got to do a few things, getting ready before tonight's match. But I will put more information on here. And again, don't forget to tune in 4 o'clock tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern time, with my collaboration with ESPN Sports Radio host Paul Gallant. That's going to be fantastic. Can't wait to talk to him. All right, talk to you guys later. Click on any of the videos you see over here, because the show never ends. And don't forget to subscribe. For some reason, my sub number's been like dropping, so help me out. Talk to you guys later. Go Hawks.